Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
And this is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
And this is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And you're listening to The Drop, our weekly podcast about running and other stuff.
Running, nutrition,
life,
education.
Well, nutrition's really on fuel for the soul.
Education.
But we're sponsored Robbie, by the Department of Education.
You're going to be real surprised.
Okay.
Knowing that you were going to be out of town for a little while and I wouldn't have like instantaneous memory recall.
Did you take notes?
I took notes.
Okay, I am surprised.
I know you are.
You're correct.
I knew you would be.
I like that. Yeah, I took
a lot of stuff happen.
I did take some notes, but I think I forgot them somewhere.
Well, my notes will help you get to there. Hey, can I read a review that we got before we get started?
Yeah. Is it the one we got from the guy from the UK?
Maybe.
Because that one was my favorite.
Yeah, it is. His name is Rob Sayer.
Okay.
Believe in the Run podcast is just crazy good. The entertainment is of the highest quality. To be honest, it's just like watching a real life Beavis and Butthead. Even the way the guys laugh at everything each of them say. Ha ha ha. These two dumbasses are kept in check by the gorgeous Megan. I would agree. He spelled your name wrong though. She is just the cherry on the cake. The way that she goes with the flow as Thomas and Robbie come up with the most ridiculous stories that has nothing to do with running. Probably the best part of the pod, though, to be honest. I think she knows they're dorks, but you can see that she loves them both. Just keep doing what you're doing. I love every minute of it. Best wishes, Rob Sayer.
All right. You sayered it, Rob.
Yeah.
Fired.
Stop it, you dumbass.
Wow.
TP for my bunghole. All right. Enough of that. I'll just try to wear my shirt over my head for the rest of the podcast. Anyways.
Yeah.
So he opened up a can of worms with that because now I'm just going to think of Beavis and Butthead things for the whole time. Could have worn my Metallica shirt for this podcast. All right.
AC/DC over here.
So we're here, and we had some stuff. Do we need to do a sponsorship?
We do.
Sleep thing.
Guess who's sponsoring this episode again?
Logan
Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul is knocking people out, and when they fall, we put a Lagoon pillow underneath of them.
Oh.
So
Before he gets in a fight with them, we have them take a little test online to see what pillow would work out best when they hit the mat.
That's smart.
Robbie, you have been out. You were on vacay in New York City, but while you were gone yesterday, I took one of the Lagoon pillows and slapped Thomas really hard in the face with it.
Was it actually hard? Like, did she get you good?
I got to do it twice, too.
I have to say, the pillows are so soft and comfortable. It didn't really bother me.
Nice.
But it should be on slow-mo real soon.
Is it, are they memory foam where like the imprint of your face rebounded after?
Well, the one I hit him with, I do think it had those memory foam-ish style.
Nice.
Like almost like puffs.
But all the pillows are different because it's custom to you.
That is true.
So you got to take the quiz. I can't remember which one I hit you with. It might have been the otter or the fox.
I felt like it was an otter.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish I would have had one of those in the hotel I was sleeping at in New York. They were not Lagoon pillow quality.
Okay,
pillows.
that brings up a good question. And I always forget to do it, and I always wish I did, especially before a marathon. Do you bring your own pillow with you?
Yeah, man, I guess if you have the space, definitely, but who does that?
That's the thing. I guess if you're driving, it's easy to throw
Sure.
your pillow in there. It's tougher when you're traveling, but really for the weekend, like we're going up to Boston. We're going to be there, 4 days, 5 days? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be nice to have your own pillow?
We have those huge Ortlieb bags. You could pack some Lagoon pillows in there.
That is true.
So what's the code to save on that, Meg?
You can go to lagoonsleep.com/believe and use the code BELIEVE for 15% off.
All right. Man,
you heard it here first.
I feel like I've been, when you travel to different cities, you feel like you've been gone for longer than you actually have been. Mm-hmm. That's what I feel like. I was like, how did we not miss a week of podcast?
I know. Well, I feel like, I don't know about you, but I think you needed a break. Like I needed a little.
Yeah. I wouldn't consider hanging out with my kids for 3 days.
I was going to say, there's a difference between trips and vacations, and vacations do not include kids. Let's be real.
Honestly, for as crazy, you're real.
Maybe when
you're real about that, definitely. Yeah, I felt like Tokyo in a way was. I know we did a lot of stuff, but I felt like that was
like out of our regular routine.
Yeah, because we didn't have as many responsibilities as far as like doing a ton of events and like, it seemed more of we got to see the place and stuff like that.
Speaking of which, you know how Lynn sent me the Ichiran ramen noodles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you make them?
First off, I didn't realize it. There's like 6 meals in there.
Oh, wow.
6 bowls. And I made the first one. It takes about 3 minutes. You boil the water, you put the noodles in. It has the soup mix. You put it in. Delicious.
Really?
Took me right back to Japan.
No way.
All I needed was that, the cold beer and the frosted mug, and it was perfect. And I also wish I had the pork. But other than
I was
that,
wondering, I thought they did like dehydrated pork or something. Is that a thing?
I'm sure you can dehydrate.
Yeah.
But I think you would just go get the pork. I don't even know what kind of pork that was. So.
Isn't that just beef jerky?
Dehydrated beef. Yeah.
That's beef.
There you go.
Beef, not pork.
Yeah. Anyway, it tasted great. Thank you, Lynn. And I'm now hooked on it, and you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah, but you figured it out. How'd you figure it out? Because all the directions were in Japanese.
I mean, I looked at.
How'd you figure out ramen? Come on, dude.
Oh, wait, it had.
I didn't know if there's like special,
it
like
had-
since it's Ichiran, if there's like special thing.
It had a picture of a pot boiling. Then it had like the number 3 next to a Chinese character, and another thing of them like
A Japanese character?
putting in the soup mix. So I was like, boil the noodles for 3 minutes, then add the.
That seems pretty straightforward.
And then I did have to look up a conversion of milliliters because I didn't know what, like, it was like 200 milliliters or something like that of water.
Okay.
So that
That's
did
like a
look
gallon.
up. It was like I forget what it was. I did it to ounces, so I just filled up the ounces and
Okay.
boiled it up, and it was delicious. And I want to go get like a little slice of pork and do all that stuff.
Boom. Right here on your water bottle, you have milliliters.
All right, what's 200 milliliters?
So it's like 6 ounces about?
Yeah.
Okay. Not a gallon.
Yeah, which would be more. But yeah, so that was delicious. So I highly recommend, if you want to pretend you're going to Japan, build a little cardboard box that you can have.
Oh man, when we were in New York. Wait, what was the cardboard box thing?
Because if you could build
He's saying you could build a cubby hole, like.
Oh
in.
yeah. Okay. I
Sorry,
thought you meant be homeless. like
you could
make
try
it-
that too.
When I was in New York, we went to Chelsea Market and they had a store there. What was it called? But it was all just Japanese stuff. I was like, man, I could have got all my souvenirs here. They had about 1 million of those Lucky Cats. They had a whole section dedicated to that Studio Ghibli, the Spirited Away thing.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this place is
So have you seen
intense.
Spirited Away yet?
No, I meant to start it like last week, but then I wanted to give myself the actual time to watch it, not just break it up before I go to bed
I
every
think
night.
you could watch it with the kids.
My kid gets super scared about anything remotely weird.
Yeah,
We were walking
it's
through
weird.
Times Square, and maybe they show different videos after it's dark, but there was previews for just like, shows on AMC or something, and he was it was
Didn't
like a
like
bloody
it.
hand, and then
Oh, no.
a monster claw on someone's shoulder. He could not handle it. I was like, oh, man.
His feelings about New York are going to be terrifying.
I mean, he's probably never gonna forget that.
All right. So you know what we should do, though, before we go too far into this?
Yeah.
We should probably recap the
Cherry
run that we
Blossom?
did at Cherry Blossom. And, man, the weather was nasty.
For when we first got there, yeah.
Yeah.
And like the hour of the race.
Run, you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was legitimately nasty. I don't know, but was it though? Because it was 65 degrees, so it was warm out.
But if you were asking people to come out and hang out
Yeah.
and it's raining,
Not ideal conditions.
most people would be like,
Yeah.
I'm good. But we ended up having hundreds of people show up. It's pretty amazing. And what we're going to do from now on, I think, is Brandon takes these amazing pictures during the runs, runs back and forth past people because he can do that. He's got the legs for it.
Yeah.
Takes all these great photos, and we've made them available to people the last 2 runs. So for the Cloud Surfer, the On Cloud Surfer run, we made them available to people to download. Just tag Believe in the Run. And then for this one, we did it too. And I'm thinking we have Boston coming up.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way. No one wants to pay for race pictures. We're basically open sourcing your race pictures.
Yeah, but for a shakeout run,
Yeah.
you can throw a bib on if you want.
Plus, you look way better at a shakeout run than during a race where you're
all
like going
relaxed.
all out and you look awful.
And nobody knows you're not running a race.
Right.
You want to show off to everybody in your circle. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Your mom doesn't know that you're not running a race.
yeah, you look great.
Do this too. You can, if you want to see those photos in our story on Instagram. I created a little in the events tab. I put the little story so you can just click through and see a link to the photos from those photos. If you want to see and you know what we're talking about here, you can see that. But at our next few shakeout runs and stuff, we'll make photos available to people to download.
I dig.
So, but besides that, so it's raining. People came out. They got to try the shoes.
Yeah. What shoes? Oh, the Gel Cumulus and the...
I think the Nimbus, the Cumulus, and
Nova Blast.
the Nova
Blast,
Blast
yeah.
were the shoes.
And it was from Pacers running in Georgetown.
Now, here's something that's crazy about that. It's a great spot to go to do runs,
Uh-huh.
but it's an uphill finish every time.
Yeah, that uphill was pretty rough.
That hill was for real.
Took people out.
I admit,
You were
I
one
got
of
my
them?
miles, and I was like, once it clicked over to 3, I was like, I'm fine walking to the top here.
Yeah. And we ran along the water to I guess it's the Potomac, right?
Yeah.
To the Lincoln Memorial.
Some people did. Some people,
Yeah.
Some people did something else, Robbie.
I wanted to get 5 miles in that day because I'm just trying to get more miles for Boston. So I invited the Spark guys who are from Virginia Beach to go. I was like, hey, do you want to do a couple extra miles with me? Just run to the Washington Monument, touch it, and come back.
Touch it.
Put my hand on that stone, feel the energy of the obelisk. He said, touch it. And
Touch
we did that. But then I kind of got a little bit lost coming back, which it was an out and back.
Which I don't understand how you could do.
Well, so if you go off, try to cross the street. Okay, first of all, Washington, D.C. streets are insane. Everyone knows there's no rhyme or reason to their design. So there's no like cross streets or whatever else.
I'm going to let you talk. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. And I knew we were to the side of the Lincoln Memorial, and then we just ended up crossing we were stuck in this like nexus of like interchanges and exit ramps. And I knew where the general area to go after that. And I checked on the map afterwards. I was like, okay, if I would have went that way, we would have gotten back.
If you just followed the Potomac. Okay, so here's my
Yeah,
thing.
but the problem is I was heading that way, but you couldn't cross. There was a fence where you couldn't get over the street and then to the Potomac. Like I could see where we needed to go.
Oh, so you just ran up. So there was a down and an up, and the up was like on the road. The down was down by the water, and you needed to go down because that went under the bridge.
It was like down even more.
Yeah.
And then, I couldn't, there was a fence and I couldn't get across. We couldn't get across the
I
street.
love it. So you got a little extra mile. I felt bad for the Spark guys because they wanted the T-shirt, and the T-shirts, there was 150 T-shirts, and there was probably close to 300 people there. So the T-shirts went really fast.
I didn't even consider that. And I honestly feel bad about it. I still feel bad about
You
it.
should draw them a T-shirt.
Yeah, you should send him something, a gift.
I don't even know what gift I
Think
just
about it.
have from my heart.
If you got to get something from Robbie, it's got to be something he finds during a run.
Yeah, just send
So
him some
go-
trash.
go-
Yeah,
for a
I'm
run.
sure
Send
he'll
him-
love a piece of trash as opposed to a custom T-shirt.
Do you know what was also cool?
Whatever.
Kodama-san was there from Japan so that you could, when you were getting your shoes try on, you could actually meet
Oh, the person who
Kodama-san.
He's behind it, yeah.
You know, he's one of the top dudes from the A6 corporate in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there checking out the scene.
probably eavesdropping on people's conversations, taking notes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just made that part up.
You just watched that Tetris movie on Apple, didn't you?
There's a Tetris movie?
It starts off a little...
Is it a documentary?
Yeah, sort of. It's
Oh,
based on
dude.
the true story.
I'm in.
And you're going to love it. I know that I just spun out Megan, but it's really, when I first started watching it, I was like, this is a little, I don't know if it's that good. And then I kind of got pulled into it, and I've been watching it in little increments, and it's really good.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I love Tetris, of course, growing up, but does it have anything about the kids who reinvented Tetris over the last couple years?
I don't know.
So there's these two brothers in, I think they're from Texas. I could be wrong, but they essentially I don't know if they discovered it or they're part of this younger generation that's got into Tetris, but they figured out that if you flip the Nintendo controller like vertically and then play it with your like pointer finger and middle finger, that you can like hack the game and become way faster at it. And they broke like every Tetris record that had been standing for like 20 years by like just orienting the controller in a different way and using their fingers, and it like blew up. It like created a whole new,
I guess because your brain just looks at it a different way because it's coming across like reading.
I think it's like you can actually hit the buttons faster. And anyways, so they ended up like they broke, like these two brothers played against each other in the national Tetris championships or international, and it was during the pandemic. Sorry, so it wasn't live, but they were in their 2 bedrooms online, like they were playing each other in the same house, and it was like this huge thing online. Anyways, it's a whole thing. It's pretty interesting if you look up the news article.
Okay, I haven't gotten to the end of the movie. Maybe they mention it, but the movie is great because I don't know if you know this, the game was invented in Russia first. Mm-hmm. And to get the rights to the game, there's all this like crazy stuff going on.
I believe
you just gotta
that.
watch it.
I mean, the whole thing is Russian. What is the Kremlin stuff? What's that type
KGB?
What's that type of architecture called? You know how like the Kremlin has like the
like the Ukrainian church.
Yeah, but what's it?
I have no idea, dude. It's like Turkish to me, but I know it's
Megan, just start talking about something else.
So Megan, after the shakeout run, we kind of chilled out, and for dinner, Kafuzi, you, Brandon, and Gavin,
and
Chris, we all went out for dinner at a place called Ella's that had what you love before every race.
Pizza.
Yeah. So we had, what is that? Is it? I guess it's brick oven pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my favorite thing is we sit down, and immediately the guy behind us, what's he say, Meg?
He says, "Hey guys, don't want to interrupt you. Just wanted to say thanks. You answered my question on the last Fuel for the Soul podcast."
Really?
So think about, of all the crazy things, we go to a restaurant in DC and we sit down right in front of somebody who's like, I would say, like pretty involved. Like the last show, we just answered his question.
It was a really good question too, because he was asking about how Ben Johnson mixes his LMNT with the Morton mixture. And we actually went through the whole thing on the podcast about how that actually breaks down the hydrogel and can cause GI issues.
So brewing's the reason you would
use
take Morton.
hydrogel in the first place.
Yeah. And then, so that was great.
But what was your favorite part about
my favorite
dinner?
part is probably I was wearing my Birds Aren't Real t-shirt. This guy, one of the waiters or the waitstaff's like, "Psst, hey, just want to let you know I'm part of the movement." And he goes, "You notice that there's no cameras here in DC, but there's tons of pigeons."
Dude.
He's like, "Look around."
He's not wrong.
They're checking us. And it was good because
He was so into it.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel like you're in Fight Club?
It did. I did feel like Fight Club.
He was like a 20-year-old kid too. It was so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
And he's like, "I love your t-shirt, by the way." So I was like, yeah. And then I was like, you know the brand Staple?
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, have you checked out Staple? Because they have a bunch of gear. It's not Birds Aren't Real, but it's got the pigeon on it, and I love that stuff." And he was like, "No, I'll check that out." So we had a moment.
I forgot.
In New York, we ran with a guy who...
A kid knows the people from Staple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Or worked for them or something.
Yeah, he did work for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, if Staple ever wants to do a collab with us, I'd be happy to. I like their gear. I bought their hat.
All right.
You know, we'll do it. But yeah, so that was fun.
That's cool.
And then the next morning was the Cherry Blossom 10 miler.
Huh?
Oh, wait.
Didn't we do a shakeout run with Robbie and stuff in the morning?
We did.
Well, not
But that is, she was talking about the next morning.
Yeah, the next morning.
Actually, I have something I want to mention because I just remembered a note I took in my head.
Okay, here it comes.
Oh,
When we were at
breaking news.
we went to the Smithsonian Smithsonian. I was trying to say museum and Smithsonian Museum. Is it natural history? Natural history. And, they have all the fossils and everything like that there.
Dinosaurs.
It's the big deal. Okay. This is an issue I have with museums in general. And maybe it's just the Smithsonian, but I think it's museums in general. The dinosaur bones aren't real.
Yeah, they're cast.
Yeah. And they have signs that are like, oh man, I took a picture of it.
Like, don't touch them.
So the sign that says they have on display, it says, "Are these fossils real? Most of the fossils you see are real, but some are casts." Which, I like the definition of most. Museum quality casts and scanned replicas aren't quote unquote fakes. They're exact copies of real fossils that capture minute details. That's literally the definition of something that's fake, is a replica that's scanned to look like the original.
Well, the Babe Ruth bat
Yeah.
just sold for $1.8 million or something like that.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Okay. And the reason the guy who bought it before bought it for $400,000. But the reason it went up is there's a new picture that surfaced showing Babe Ruth with that bat, and they matched the bat to it.
Okay. Yeah.
So authenticity matters. That's the difference between somebody
Exactly.
thinking something was worth, was a bat, but having a photo picture of him holding that bat
Yeah.
made it worth $1.4 million more.
Yeah, just the photo,
Yeah.
even though it was likely the real bat. I don't know. I just have a problem with like, you're saying they're not fake, but they literally are fake bones.
But Robbie, it's not fake because it's an exact replica.
I'm just like, come on, just say that they're not real.
That sounds like Bill Clinton wrote that one.
Yeah, right. I need to check the times. It might have said
Depends on what you mean by fake.
see if it said 1996 on there.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So that morning we got up before the race.
Yeah, we were on a group text message with some people from ASICS and our team and Mike Co. And so we all agreed we'd meet downstairs at 5:45 to get in some warm-up miles because we're all training for Boston. And so we all met down there.
Except for one person.
I did write on the text message, meet down at 5:45. We'll get out the door no later than 6. And Robbie was going with
No later than
6. That's what he focused on. So we left without him.
Yeah. I honestly I don't care. I think
At,
I was
at the moment, were you annoyed?
Yeah, but it wasn't justifiable. Well, so I think the thing, I thought that y'all were just going on the run and then straight to the race.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were coming back to the hotel. And so I was like, that's what I thought. I wasn't going to.
Well, we were meeting Frank from ASICS because he was kind of our drop bag, if you will. So we were going to give him stuff to hold for us while we were racing.
Yeah.
And I've never been more conflicted on a race day outfit than I was that morning. I even pinned a bib on a long sleeve and then unpinned it and pinned it onto a
I was
singlet.
expecting it to. So the forecast had us thinking it was going to be really cold and really windy. But when we got out for the shakeout run, which is why I'm glad we went for the shakeout run.
Right. We warmed up real fast.
When the wind wasn't hitting you,
Yeah.
it wasn't that cold. When the wind hit you, it was that cold.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like you had to decide, do I want to be a little warm when the wind's not blowing, or do I want to be a little cold when it is blowing? But I'll tell you, I felt like between the time that we went for the shakeout run and when we got in the corral,
It got colder. But it did. If you looked at the
freezing in
forecast,
the
it was
corral.
the
You're
coldest
right, it did
part
get
of the
colder.
day was the 7:30 a.m. start that we had for the race.
like I waited till the last minute to take off my throwaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice. I was actually kind of glad, no offense, I didn't go with you because you were only doing 3. I had to do 5. It was nice. I got to see the sunrise at the Lincoln Memorial. That was cool.
What did
And
you end
then
up with total miles at the end of the day?
18 at the end of the day.
Okay, so I ended up with 17 something.
Oh, nice.
That start line is kind of amazing. Like when you look around, the sun's coming up. You've got like the monuments. It's like one of the most
It is a good one.
beautiful start lines ever.
I can't think of one that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, the course itself is amazing. I
Like,
mean, the
honestly,
one hairpin turn is kind of
One of the worst starts is the
awful.
New York City Marathon.
Yeah.
Like,
Anytime you're in Staten Island.
it's like a cattle call. And you're like just in a tube, and then it just shoots you out.
yeah.
Oh, and you have to go uphill
Yeah.
right away.
So when we were at the start line, like you were saying, it was like really, really cold. And I was tying my shoelace, so I was like kind of down. And Mike Coe bent down next to me to like get warm because we were all like shoved in together, so it was kind of warmer down there. And one of his fans comes up and he's like, Mike? And Mike's like literally down on the ground.
Looking at the guy's split shorts.
Like, looking up and saying hi. And the guy just keeps talking and talking while Mike's like crouched down. He bends down next to Mike and takes a selfie with him. And I was dying laughing.
You should have just hugged him and kept him warm.
What's kind of crazy is Mike has a different vibe pre-race.
Yeah.
So he's real friendly most of the time. I feel like he engages. People were like, "Hi, hey Mike, big fan." He's like, "Thanks, enjoy your run."
Yeah,
you know, like it was like short. Like I'm in my.
He's race ready.
Race ready. I don't want to talk and have conversations right now. But some people got it.
Yeah,
like just want to say, "Great, can I get a picture real quick?" Sure. Other people
did not get
like
it.
when it started talking about shoes. Yeah.
Hey, so how's your DC trip? you know, like
yeah, that's tough.
So it was kind of fun to watch him. Yeah. So in the corral, Megan, you split off with a group, and I was with Jarrett. Is it Jarrett?
He's just Jarrett.
Jarrett. Okay.
He just spells it kind of crazy.
Jarrett from A6. He's one of their reps, and so he's at all the shakeout runs we do, and he comes around. He's a great guy. I'm hanging with him at this point. You split off. Mike went up with you, but I don't think he went as far up with you. And
we tried to get up far because I had remembered last year how crowded it was at the start, and it happened again.
And who did you go up with though?
It was me and John Ober and Brandon.
Okay.
Nice.
So we tried to squeeze our way up, but honestly, we didn't get further than like the 7:30 pace group, which was a mistake.
Yeah.
And I went into this a little bit different than most races. Like I went in with the mindset that I'm not pushing today. I'm just going to enjoy it. Because last year I did it and I was trying to do like low sevens and it hurt the whole time. I didn't have fun. I was miserable at the end. And I went back and I looked. I ran it in a 1:16 the previous year.
Okay.
So ended up around a 7:33 pace or so.
Yeah.
But it was so hard that I just hated it. And this time we ran it. Jarrett and I ran the whole way together. Robbie, you came in at about 1.5 miles in.
Yeah.
And I think I ran a 1:23 or something like that. So it was like an 8:16 to 20 pace.
Yeah. It was a good time.
But yeah, we stopped at a porta potty. You guys got beer at one point at Haynes Point.
Yep.
At the end of Haynes Point.
And Oreos. It was an interesting combination.
I don't like
Beers
that combo.
Beer and Oreos.
That sounds gross. Mid-race.
It was mile 8.
But overall,
yeah,
it was such a better experience. And I have to say, as much as I would love to have the faster pace,
yeah,
just running it and enjoying it was
it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time. And
the porta potty situation was weird though because they had 4 or 5 porta potties made. Some had padlocks on them.
I don't know if they were for the race.
That sounds like
I think they were
not.
for the Cherry Blossom like festival maybe or something. Because it just seemed like they seemed out of place, you know?
Okay.
So I'm not sure if they were actually for the race.
So we were all waiting for like 2 porta potties that
we
we
shared a urinal together.
Yeah.
Me and Thomas.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I mean,
sword fight it.
It was good. Bet each other which one would get electrocuted first.
Sword fought. Yeah. So yeah, we should have tested that theory out from last podcast. But we ended up, the last 2 miles were pretty windy. I thought the wind stopped, and then I was like, "Oh no, that was just a tailwind."
Yeah.
Because then we turned around.
I was thinking how many people got screwed by that were like feeling all confident and good, and then you turn around for the last.
I
2.5
knew it was
miles.
coming.
Now I do want to disprove Robbie on something though.
Okay.
Okay, Robbie had this theory that there aren't soulmates, and at one point we were going under a tunnel,
All right.
and there was a woman in an Incredibles costume dancing crazily and singing something with holding up like speaker over.
Yeah, it had like
her
a
head.
boom box.
And then I look and there's the gentleman who is also dressed as an Incredible, and they clearly had like a bike with them and like had ridden their bike out there. And
Do you remember these people, Meg?
No.
Oh,
They seem
I
to.
just remember the wizard dude.
Yeah, he looked exactly like Gandalf.
Robbie's like, I pass.
Yeah.
But I'm
didn't get
looking
it.
at this couple, and they're dancing around in their Incredibles outfit. I don't even think they're runners. I think they just want an excuse
Yeah.
to get out there in their incredible outfit. And I'm like, look, Robbie, you're telling me that there isn't one person for everybody on this planet.
And he has a good point. There,
So your mind has
I
changed.
think for some people, there is one person.
Like, I can't
There's
imagine.
only one person.
Yeah. What I mean, seriously though, that is pretty incredible.
Incredible.
I think I saw them too at the rock and roll half or marathon, and this was 5 years ago when I did that.
So this is what they do.
Yeah, I think they're just out at every race.
Interesting.
They're probably like, we spent this money on these incredible outfits. We need to use them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're getting their money's worth.
But think about it. You need to find somebody who likes dressing up. You need to find somebody who likes getting up early, and someone who likes cheering for runners.
I mean, you just described the whole November project, but yeah,
Okay. So maybe
there's plenty of
maybe back to Robbie's point. And it was also funny. Remember how we talked about Otakon?
yeah.
A girl wrote in and sent like photos in our
really?
story, and she's like, "It was like my worlds colliding. I love Otakon and I love I love running."
Nice.
And she sent some pictures of her both race photos and in like full
Oh, wow.
like Comic-Con
That's
style dress.
I like it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we finished the Cherry Miler, whatever, and went to had a little after party, some drinks, food.
Who was at the after party?
The Halls showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ryan and Sarah.
yeah. And
Who she happened to win the 10-mile championship that day. So there was the race within the race.
Right.
So she didn't win the overall Cherry Blossom 10-miler, but she won the USATF championship.
yeah. And there's one guy at the party that we've seen several places. We've seen him out at Worlds. We've seen him just about everywhere. But he's, to me, got to be one of the most fascinating characters in the sport. His name's Ben, and I want him on the podcast. The man has got to have stories that would blow our minds. He's the one who helped sign Ilya Kipchoge to Nike.
Oh yeah,
He does all
yeah.
the athletes for ASICS, so our favorites like Val. He's the one who signed them up, and he's like talk about
should
inside
have-
baseball. Well, I told him, I said he's got a private Instagram account, and I was like, don't accept my friendship unless you're willing to come on the podcast, because I'm just going to DM you all the time about coming on the podcast.
Fair.
And as of yet, he has not accepted my friendship. But I'm going to work on it. He's going to be my project. I want him on. I want the stories. So Ben, if you're listening, I know you don't, because you said you don't listen to podcasts, but I know that there's people at ASICS that do. We're gonna make this happen.
Okay.
Anyway, so we skipped one other thing after the race though.
Okay.
So Frank from ASICS was holding our stuff. So he had Brandon stuff, Megan stuff, our phones. But he wanted to get in. It was cold and windy, and his girlfriend, Ariana, had run a really great race right next to you, about the same time as you right now. And so they were cold and tired and wanted to go home, so handed off his stuff to Megan. But we wanted to get cool down miles, so we're like...
And Meg finished. What was your time, Meg?
An hour high.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. 'Cause I've
That
never
means
finished
like
in a high time.
like an hour and a couple seconds.
Okay.
No, like almost an hour and 1
In
minute.
1 minute.
Right.
High.
Whatever. You're high.
An hour low would be the thing. When you say an hour high, it makes me think an hour and 59 minutes.
Can you
it's a
just say
high
6
hour?
Can you just say 60 minutes?
I could say a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
An hour high, I feel like, is what is happening right now. I feel like
Anyway.
that's what most people listening is what they're thinking.
They're trying to do math for their own run right
We're
now.
an hour high.
So Meg has Brandon's phone and jacket or something, right?
Yeah.
So we start running to do our cool down miles. First off, one of the cool things was the reflecting pool that's between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial. You probably recognize it from Forrest Gump when everybody, hey, Johnny, and she runs out and they run out in the water.
or anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we don't have a Strava segment for that because it's usually filled with water, but it was empty. So I was like, this is our chance.
Well, there was like a little bit. There was enough in the middle that you couldn't wade across without getting your feet wet, totally wet. But it wasn't like empty. It was enough that you could run down the side of it. Yeah.
Like probably the only time we'll have a chance to get
Right,
the
right.
Strava segment through the reflecting pool.
I'm presuming they do that so it doesn't freeze in the wintertime. or
No, I think they're doing work on it.
oh, okay.
Because normally it's always
Even in the winter.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I believe. So anyway, I didn't know this, but Brandon is tracking his phone because he gave somebody else's phone like the access to track his phone for the day. So he's trying to chase us down, and we're running. He's like, "Why is Frank running away from me?"
Yeah, because he thought Frank had his jacket, but I was wearing Brandon's jacket because I was cold.
Yeah.
And his phone was in
The pocket.
the pocket of the jacket, so he thought Frank was waiting for him at the finish line, like you said. And I'm just running around with you guys all over the
Lincoln
mall.
Memorial.
he's on a rabbit chase.
He did find us though.
He did, but then we were across the water from each other, and it was one of those like need the fox and the hen trying to get the boat across, and we couldn't figure out how to do it.
Like Jenny jumping into the reflecting pool.
And then we told him to sprint, and he actually did. And I was like, he's gonna pull a hammy at any second.
Yeah,
but he didn't.
It'd be slow all over again.
Yeah, I had PTSD from that.
Yeah. So, but that was awesome.
Yeah.
And we got back after the party. We went to the parking garage. Robbie, you're gonna love this.
Okay.
You would love it. I'm prepared. It says basically $40 a day to park there. And I parked the car there when we got down. So it was there 2 days, 3 days?
Mm-hmm. 2 days.
2 days. So I was expected to pay $80 for parking.
Yeah.
I go to give the guy the ticket, and the machine keeps spitting it out. It got demagnetized or something. And so he's not speaking a ton of English. He's just like, go get a new card.
But he's also not friendly.
Yeah. And like he's like, you idiot, go get a new card. And he's like, just say that you lost it. There's a button you can hit for lost card. And I'm like, just, I can tell you how long I was here. Just ring me up and I'll go. He's like, no, go get a lost card. So I go to the machine. I put the money in. It says $20 for a lost card.
So you could park in there for a week, say you lost your card, and it's $20.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So I leave, and I feel like I just ripped them off because my car was there.
What's the name of this garage again?
And I'm like $20. Okay. And I explained to the guy that I was in the garage for 2 days.
And he was just like, just go.
He's like,
he wanted us out of there, man. Like, yeah.
In that garage, did they take your key?
No.
Interesting. So I went, by the way, man, I'm going to remember that for the future. But we went to a garage right around the corner, and we parked there, and he took our key, and they give you like a thing,
number.
Number.
Like a code check.
Yeah, and they're like, take pictures so you don't lose it. But I never had, it's not one where they move your car, you know what I mean? It's just a normal garage.
Well, I've had them take the key before.
Okay. I don't park in garages that much. So.
Yeah. They'll sometimes do that, but.
Anyways, ours was pretty cheap though. It was like $18. So.
Oh, that's pretty good.
A day.
See, for me, I'm definitely, I'm just going to go and lose my ticket from now on because.
I mean, seriously, that's amazing.
Normally, like a lost ticket is like outrageous.
I love discovering things like that are still exist in the world.
I was arguing with the guy to pay $80. I'm like, please, let me just pay.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you lost your key. But yeah.
Man. I love things that are overlooked that people still haven't figured out yet or just too lazy to fix it.
Or just don't care.
There's so many things like that in the federal government.
Well, that's where we were. We were down in D.C.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, can I give a tax tip real quick?
Yeah.
Because this is a good one.
As long as it's pay them so that we don't get audited.
I'm not bummed about. I mean, I am a little bummed I have to do my taxes because I keep putting that off. I got 10 days left. I mean, it's pretty straightforward for us, but. So 1 year I did my taxes on TurboTax and thought I had put in like everything, submit and whatnot. Well, there's like a screen and then there's like the final screen.
The final screen.
Never got to that one. So 3 months later,
you get a
letter.
Hey, you never did your taxes.
Never did your taxes. And I'm like losing my mind because it's going to be, they charge you so much interest or something. So it was going to be like an $800 extra tax on top of it. And I'm Googling everything in the world about how to figure this out. And I found this little known tip that exists. that you can use one time in your life. And there's a certain number for the IRS that you can actually call and get a human being, which shocked me.
You can only call a human being one time, though?
Yes, you can only use this service once. But try calling the IRS to see how often you get a human being.
Yeah.
And so you actually get a person on the line like immediately, which was crazy.
Hey, hello, Robbie.
And I forget what the actual thing is called, but it's like a one-time waiver where you're like, I effed up. I didn't submit my taxes on time. Can I do this? Oh, man, I wish I had it. And they're like, you can do this, but it's the only time like in your life that you can do it, and we'll forgive you like the interest and the tax, and you can submit it.
How are they going to remember that you've already done it?
They mark. I don't know. They mark it.
Chances are you can do it again.
Probably,
It's
but
the government.
But it's I forget what the waiver's called, but it's
probably his thing is flagged.
Yeah, and so I did it, and sure enough, they forgave all my interest
Wow.
and everything.
You're
I was
basically
able to
Donald
submit-
Trump over there.
Yeah,
I wonder
right.
if that's what he did. He's like, hey, I'm just
One
calling in
time.
this one time. If you could just forgive everything, that'd be great.
I mean, it's pretty crazy, and I think you can do it for like 6 months later. They'll still let you use it.
That's
But you have to ask specifically, like you have to mention that thing. Like you can't just say, "Hey, I forgot to do."
You have to be in the
You have
know.
to mention that exact program or act, or they won't do it.
Do you know what pissed me off
Interesting.
yesterday?
No.
All right. So the NBA said, hey, you need to renew your tags. I go ahead, I renew them, waiting for the sticker to come in the mail, put it on my car. Yesterday in Fells Point, it's April 5th. My tag, it was good from 3/23.
Okay.
It's April 5th yesterday.
Yeah.
I got a ticket
For
for expired tags. And like, I'm like, first off, someone's walking around checking the tags. Great.
Yeah.
2, it's 5 days into the month.
But your sticker was on it?
No, my sticker was in the mail. I had to go, like I had ordered it. So I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
So I put the sticker on today because I was like, got the ticket yesterday. But I'm like, why isn't there like a computer system that's like, oh, this person's you can't write a ticket for that.
Because you have already paid
I've
for it.
already paid for it. Like,
That is ridiculous.
so $32 extra I'm going to pay because I just don't have the time to like get
fight
somebody
it,
on the
yeah.
phone and be like, I have my registration. The sticker wasn't on. It was in my mailbox.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I know. With all the technologies available today, all the pigeon drones, you would think that they could use them.
Well,
to
the
their
pigeons
advantage.
probably turned me in.
That's actually you're not.
Because who's looking at that stuff? Anyway, the crazy thing is, though, I am at the point, like, when I was in my 20s, I probably would have done everything possible not to pay $32.
Oh yeah, I would
Now-
have spent 3 weeks trying to figure that out.
Now I'm like, is it worth my time? Is it worth the trouble?
I'm in the same position as of right now because the hotel we stayed at in New York City, pretty nice altogether. The rooms were a little like, obviously they're small, and somewhat run down, but the breakfast was actually pretty legit. It was in a good spot. It's near Times Square. But the first night we were there, we had done stuff all day long, went to Central Park, whatnot, and the shower didn't work. So it was only extremely hot water or extremely cold water, which is odd. There's nothing in between.
That is hot.
So I guess the valve inside was just completely broken. So,
Okay.
so my kids are disgusting because they are just
They touch
disgusting.
everything on the ground.
Oh, I was like, they definitely made it a life mission to touch every railing in New York City. Like it's like they had a punch card that said, "Can you touch every subway railing?"
They probably
And-
laid down places.
Oh yeah, they're always on the sidewalk and like picking up change, which I admire. But we couldn't take a shower, and they were like, "Well, we can't fix it. We can move you. You can move to a new room tomorrow, or to go to 2 separate rooms tonight," which obviously I'm not doing. And so we didn't get to take a shower that night or the next morning when I went running. And then we checked into a room later in the day. So.
Wow. Okay, here's the difference between you and me. I would smell like a ripe bag of onions.
Yeah.
You can, I don't know what it is about your chemical makeup, but like you can wear a merino shirt days in a row.
I don't know. I don't think I sweat that much, so I think that's part of it. And so So I'm in, but because I booked it through Chase, who goes through Expedia, I have to submit like a third party like complaint. I can't go directly through the hotel there. And I'm like, do I do this?
That's probably why they stick you in that room. They're like,
Probably.
hey, guess what? This dude booked with Expedia. Yeah, he gets that room.
And it still wasn't cheap. It was still pretty expensive.
You got to tell me somebody didn't know that was broken.
I mean, you would think so. There's a bunch of stuff there. It was like kind of, I feel like since the pandemic, people's like hotels just overlook the little things.
Yeah, because they used to be in there every 5 minutes when you weren't
Right.
cleaning up.
But otherwise, it was nice. In New York City, can I give you a rundown of the shoe situation that I observed while I was there? I always like kind of seeing what's happening because there's a good sample size from all around the world, you know? So obviously On is just everybody's wearing On, and the Veja shoes, which two of the most uncomfortable shoes you could ever wear.
Wait, Veja?
Yeah.
It's not Veja?
I think it's Veja. I asked the lady from,
I think Veja sounds
who was
better.
at the store. She was at Fleet Feet.
Yeah, she came to the shakeout, right?
Their main like salesperson.
She
And I asked her, and I'm pretty sure it was Veja.
All right, I'm going to keep calling it Veja.
Okay.
Veja.
I could be wrong. I could remember the complete opposite of what it was. Anyways, so those are definitely
Are you talking like just casual, obviously, not running?
right.
Yeah.
It's those leather ones that just have the V on the side.
They're not leather. That's the whole point.
Oh, that's right. The vegan leather. Yeah.
Ravi spreading misinformation.
Now, I wouldn't say they were the most popular, obviously, in Nike and Adidas or whatever, but I would say as far as shoes that stand out, those are definitely the Ons and the Veja. But I also saw a dude wearing Primex casually, which...
Here's why here's why I'm down for that.
It's the height, man.
I get to 6'2" when I'm wearing that shoe.
he wasn't that short, I don't think. Maybe that's why I thought
That's
he
why
wasn't short.
he's probably kicked those off. He's down to earth.
This is the wild one. I saw someone wearing the Mizuno NRZ. that shoe.
The one that I had,
with the huge bubbles
raspberries?
on it. Yeah. I saw someone
Aren't
wearing
there
that.
only like 10 in the world?
Yeah, unless it was a knockoff, but it was the exact
can't be a
same
knockoff, though.
composition. It was lime green though, and they were wearing
lime
that as a casual shoe.
I have
They were
to say,
European.
it's not that uncomfortable of a shoe.
So gross to wear it in New York, though. I don't know, something about it.
Well, it's a lot of touching of the ground.
Yeah,
You're right, by the way. It's Veja.
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 Why do you know that?
I Googled it.
Okay,
And it says pronounced Veja.
Yeah,
Veja.
it's a hard J.
Veja.
I think it's like French. Isn't it like je t'aime?
Je t'aime?
Je t'aime.
Yeah, no, it's
Je-
not je t'aime.
Je t'aime is I like you.
But I'm saying the J,
I
the
thought
J
je t'aime
sound
was I love you.
is
Or
I love you. Yeah, but I'm saying the J sound is like the same. Je, Veja.
No, Veja. It would be Veja.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Veja.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Veja. I'm saying it right?
Yeah.
it's like Asia, but Veja.
Yeah.
Veja. All right. Anyway, we do have a shoe here in the office. Are you done giving your New York wrap up of the shoes?
I think I had something else to say.
Say it.
Just talk about this, and I'll remember.
All right. So
Wait,
we
before
haven't even
Oh.
really talked about our Boston training.
we also have to
we
talk
need to talk about
about
running.
Boston.
Oh,
What's
we do.
happening?
All right. So first off, let's just hit through the running. This was a weird week because we did some of our running during the race. So, like we said, we got 17. I got 17 miles in on Sunday at the race. What did you do?
Somewhere around there. I don't really remember.
And so, are you in taper? Are you tapering right now?
Yeah, pretty much. I did my last real workout yesterday.
12 miles this Saturday. 12 miles, right?
You have 12 miles.
That's it. 12 miles.
Okay.
I'm
What are you
gonna
doing?
do
20?
Yeah.
Yes.
the ramp up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put in my notes, Thomas. I wrote down Jenga for you. You wanted me to put that in there.
Oh, Jenga. But why did we want to put that in there?
Because I was talking about how
Oh, no,
like,
that's for my check-ins.
I tried to I didn't really try to race Cherry Blossom, but like I wanted to put in a hard effort, and like there was no competitive edge in me at all. Like
Okay.
I was just tired, and I was like I still ran hard, but I was like I didn't have that like let's get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I'm very fatigued because I'm ready for the taper. So I
Yeah.
did my last workout yesterday.
For the check-ins, I want Jenga.
And
I'll use it then.
but yeah, I was like, my body is like about to fall apart. So
Really?
I need this taper.
Man. So, okay. So
I
taper
love
time
that. I'm going into the taper, and Robbie, you're going.
into the
Escalating.
ramp up. I mean,
You know, it's not that
crazy.
bad,
I'm
though,
doing
because-
like 50 miles this week. It's not insane.
But you know what's crazy though is like one time I had a coach and he forgot when my race was, and I'm like, am I supposed to be doing a 22-mile run the week before? And
I did the same thing.
and I did the run. He's like, oh no, that was a mistake. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Were you fine?
I mean,
Narrator, he wasn't.
yeah, probably not. I mean, I've showed up to so many races flat and just struggled through them in the marathon that like that's part of the whole mindset for me now is like I enjoyed Tokyo.
Uh-huh.
I really liked running Cherry Blossom.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't want to go in with the pressures I've had in the past, and I feel like I have. It could just be this time frame. Like I'm like, is it something wrong with me that I don't want to be ultra competitive all the time? I'm like, I have time to get competitive again. I mean, maybe the results won't be the same because, you know, as you age, but the mindset of like, I went into too many marathons with like a black and white. It's a success if I hit these numbers. It's a failure if I don't.
Yeah.
That like I kind of am just enjoying like running for running.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
So we'll see. I mean, I may change my mind. I know that for the fall, I kind of want to train specifically for it, like because we've been running so much.
Mm.
But like at the same time, we're running New York, and I don't know if that's something I want to make an A race.
Yeah, that would be tough. I guess if I do Chicago, I might still do Chicago.
Chicago is a great one to really put effort into.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. It really should. So we'll see. Yeah, that's so you're like good for Boss. So what are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking our kits are going to be sick. Did you see those all whites that we're getting?
No, I didn't see that.
You guys are starting in the way back too. You're going to have a long day.
Yeah, we're starting.
How dare you?
Our start time.
We're gonna fly.
It'll be 90 degrees by the time we start.
I know. The weather.
Is it?
We have no idea what
Is it
it's
the
going to be
weather,
this far out, but it looks
Well,
warm.
we're
We
not 10
start
days in.
we start at 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
11:15.
No way. There's no way.
Yeah, Megan starts at
11:15.
9.
No, I start at 10.
10.
What do we do the whole time? We're gonna have to buy Nintendo DS
What do we do?
I would
the whole
love that.
time?
and then just play that, and then
We got to ride the bus. I think we get on the bus at 9 though, right?
Yeah, you'll be on a bus by then.
And then we're just chilling and hanging out.
I don't even know if my phone battery will last between the time I wake up and 11 a.m.
Oh, actually, if we were to run the race based off of what this is projecting very far in advance, it's 49 to 66 that day.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Well, that would be pretty great.
Well, 66 is going to get warm. Cause
I mean,
I don't
we're
care.
going to be in the
I'll freaking
66.
take it.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the 66, Robbie. But our kits are going to look fresh. Adidas has hooked us up. We're going to have the all-white Pro 3s.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Sweet. I did not see that email.
I'm waiting for that package to come because gonna have to get that one on the gram as fast as
Are
possible.
the shorts white? Because
No, they're not, but I wanted them to be.
I was worried
I
about.
think you got some black split
Yeah, they're
shorts.
black split shorts.
Okay.
And then we have, I think it's kind of like a gradient, like singlet.
All right. I'm into that.
So we will look
Sharp.
professional. Yeah.
Even if you don't run well, you look good. So
Yeah.
that's part
Probably
of
gonna
it.
wear like white calf socks with my white Pros.
Yeah.
Dork out.
I like it.
Yeah.
To go along with your extremely white translucent skin.
I know.
It's hard.
Boy, it is rough.
Not a good look.
Yeah, like I saw some pictures from Cherry Blossom of other people that posted. I'm like, oof,
Yeah.
look like a biker that his clothes fell off.
Oh yeah. I remember when I used to clean boats, there was this guy he would do underwater cleaning of boats.
Like a scuba diver.
Yeah. But that was his job. So
Like
think about it.
scraping barnacles.
You're spending your whole day underwater. And he looked like
He spent his whole
he
day.
looked like
on-
a dead fish.
I like the song by Turnstile, Underwater Boy.
Yeah, that's what that was about him.
Yeah,
Probably.
it makes sense if it was.
I mean, like there was an opacity to his skin that was unrivaled in any other specimen I've seen.
I will tell you where I saw that in Japan. It seemed like there were some people that were so white.
Oh, is that the thing though, where they get
see through them?
Where they get like the Michael Jackson surgery or whatever?
I don't know, but
there's like where you like try to lighten, like you try to make your skin really white.
It was almost like translucent on some of them.
Yeah, I think some people will try to do that. That's
Okay.
Isn't that like a thing?
You're telling me.
It is. It is.
All right.
It's like a fad or something.
It's not. I didn't think it was the greatest fad.
Okay,
it's like a skin, whatever.
Before we dive into these shoes, let's do a quick rundown of the 2 events that we're hosting a Boston Marathon weekend.
Yes.
I'm hoping by the time this podcast comes out, I'm allowed to talk about this, so I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, we are hosting a meetup with New Balance. Megan Featherston has put together these carb load boxes. So it has bagels, pretzels, graham crackers, fruit snacks, hydration mix.
Everything that you need to carb load.
Everything you need for Sunday before, if you want to totally bank on that. And
can I get one of those boxes?
You can if you sign up. So here's the thing. We are going to promote a link with an RSVP. You have to RSVP if you want a carb box. It's limited. We have 30-minute slots between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Saturday the 15th out of the New Balance store on Newberry. The address will be online. All the details will be online. But it is first come, first serve. So once those RSVPs go, like that's it.
Yeah, but we are also giving out a really nice Run Boston with our logo and New Balance logo it's a beanie.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to grab that.
Okay.
And if we do sell out of those, you can still come by and
Sell
say
out.
hi.
Those are free.
I mean, we fill up.
You mean if they're all gone?
How would you like to say it?
I would say that if you don't get there soon enough, they'll probably be gone because they're free and we're handing them out. And so you're going to want to use that RSVP page to set your time.
Right, but what I was saying is if they're gone, if you go to that page and you can't RSVP for one of the carb boxes, there's another option that we're calling drop-in that you can come, hang out, you can try the New Balance shoes, check out the store, say hi to us, take a photo, whatever. So you will still be able to see us Saturday morning there. And
I think there's going to be coffee and like snacks. So come by, grab a cup of coffee, chat with us. You can get some last minute tips from both Megan and Megan about the Boston Marathon. I'm sure our buddy Ben will show up. Maybe he'll be around. We'll have a few other people that you might know dropping by. So definitely check it out. But then we're bringing it back on Sunday.
Yeah, so Sunday, like we did last year, we are hosting a shakeout run with ASICS and Megan Featherston. She's going to give you some last minute tips. We'll do about a 3-mile shakeout. If you remember last year, we kind of got lost and it was a little longer than that, but it was very fun. There'll be bagels, coffee, and
we're doing t-shirt giveaways. We'll have a different beanie available there. There'll also be some other surprise swag giveaways, and it's at the ASICS house. You're going to want to check it out on Newberry Street. That one, Meg, what times they were kicking off the run?
That's 8:30 a.m. on Sunday, the 16th.
You want to get there early and get some coffee and whatever.
The link to RSVP is on our website. We're going to send out an email, and also we'll put it in the show notes. So RSVP for that one too.
Yeah. And we'd love to see you, especially if you came out last year. I'd love to see you again. And there'll be a lot of events going on. But I don't know. I think all the stuff we got going on is pretty cool.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
I don't mean to brag, but it is.
Yeah. We'll also have some ASICS athletes there. Is Emma Bates going to be there?
Not that I know of.
Maybe we'll say just say surprise guest.
She was there last year.
Sure.
So maybe she's coming back. I know that she asked me how she could get the beanie. So I know she wants it.
What beanie?
We're giving away some of the white beanies.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
What beanie?
so that'll be fun. That'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I feel like, man, I feel like I had to say something in relation to that. Man, this is why I just need to take notes.
Yeah.
What's
Like
happening,
Thomas,
dude?
the really organized one in the group.
Do you have any more notes that you need to go over?
No, I don't. I just have this Puma shoe.
I did want to say real quick about I did remember one of the other things. Did you see the video of that raccoon I saw in Central Park?
I
Yeah.
did.
Do you see how big that thing was?
It was
It
quite
looked
large.
real fat.
Yeah, but think about the rats are big. It's like a whole.
I know, but when
Big
you
animal.
see a raccoon in real life that's that big, that, by the way, walked past us,
Wasn't afraid of you.
walked right, eyed up my child. It was as big as my child.
He was probably like, I could take him.
Yeah, I was a little like, I don't know how this is gonna end. He's just waddling around. I thought that was pretty cool, and I was jealous.
He was like being at the zoo without having to go to the zoo.
yeah, why pay for a Central Park Zoo ticket when you can just see it in real life?
Like walking around.
But no, that was cool. I was scared when we walked to the Trump media circus though, because there was so many. I've never been in a situation like that.
Yeah.
Where if he was going to show up I think he showed up about an hour after we went through there, and it was just shoulder to shoulder, just like everyone pushing. And I was like with my kids, and there was this one conservative guy who's I've seen him on Twitter before, and he was just screaming at he just does things to get attention, you know, and just screaming, yelling.
See the guy who holds up the cardboard sign that says "Nobody cares what your pace is."
No, he's just he kind of looked like Tucker Carlson, but not him.
Okay.
And then anyways, it was just like obnoxious. He was just yelling, and then all the media from every country was there. It was for literally just to see him get out of his car and go into the building.
So weird.
And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, just to see him get out of his car and go into the building. There was no interviews. There was nothing else happening. There's 6 helicopters flying overhead. And I'm like, I can't get on with this. This is this entertainment of the.
That's what it is now. It's like they were saying that Trump news works for both sides. It gets viewership up for both
100%.
sides of the media. So he's actually great for.
But everyone wants. Yeah, that's why it's so.
media.
That's why everyone was there. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't be a part of this whole thing. This is just. And I didn't know all that was going down. I don't really keep up on the whole saga because I just don't care. And we were just randomly walking past Trump Tower on the way to Central Park.
The only thing I would care is if he came out with a pair of running shoes on. I'd be like, what shoes did Trump wear?
Now we're talking.
That's in our news area.
Yeah.
Everything else,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
He's definitely not wearing Vejas.
Veja, yeah. Are they French?
They are French, and he likes, I'm sure he wants a meat-based shoe.
Yeah, a meat-based, full leather with
Exactly.
with a well-done outsole.
Yeah, I don't know if these shoes are vegan or not, because I guess a lot of that has to do with the glue they use.
What shoe is this?
This is the Puma Foreverrun
That sounds like a
Nitro.
Don't forget the Nitro.
One run forever.
Nitro. So, Robbie, this is like a low stability shoe. Meg's version right here. It's like, the new style of stability. Like the Tempest, like the kind of light.
So you don't have that real firm
Like
midsole anymore.
the posting on the and the medial side. You
Okay.
don't have that. It's just got a wide base. It's got dual density foam. So closer to your foot, you have like a softer, plusher foam. And then the Nitro that's encasing it is a little bit
firmer.
Yeah. And you've got like this guide thing over here by the heel. You've got a wider base up at the toe. But overall, it's actually a fun shoe to run in.
Yeah, like it doesn't feel like we were saying, it doesn't feel like a traditional stability shoe. Like it's not that firm. It's just more stable. It's just wider platform and
is this still like, are they stability shoes? Because I know that like some people are like,
guidance
isn't a stability shoe.
Isn't guidance the new word?
I think guidance is the new word. Yeah. So it's nice. It's fun to run in. The Nitro does not disappoint. The fit of the upper is really good.
Is this sewed on wrong? This pull tab?
It is. That's the way it's supposed to go. See how the Pumas are dancing this way, and then nothing.
You can't see it on the other side though.
There is no Pumas.
But don't you feel like this should like open up to something? Like what's
like
this
you push that button and your
it looks like there should be
iPod
something
comes
inside
out.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. And that the heel clip looks kind of delicious, to be honest.
Like candy, right?
It looks like Candy Crush, like something Candy Crush.
Yeah.
You know how you want to eat the screen.
What do you think of this, like biohazard style
Upper.
Upper.
Oh yeah, that looks like a skin affliction
right? It's like
that I would have.
like reptile skin.
You can't unsee that.
But believe it or not, the shoe looks pretty good.
It does.
If you're listening from our description, we just described, I don't know, a mutant, but
No, it's a good looking shoe. It's comfortable. I mean, I was shocked at how much I liked it when we got these. I wasn't expecting them, and I was kind of like, probably not going to love this shoe. And then I went running in it. It's
I think
pretty
I went
good.
running and I was like, Meg, you gotta try it. And you're
Yeah.
like, nah. And I was like, come on, it's really good. And you're like, okay. And then you're like, yeah.
I do still think it's like a little, like I said on our review, slappy, but otherwise it's good.
I think that's because there's so much
Rubber.
forefoot
Yeah.
and rubber and width. But Robbie, it's got a gusseted tongue and a double lace tongue.
I like that double
This
lace
is going
thing.
nowhere. But they did give us something new that I'd never heard of before, and I've been reviewing shoes for a long time. It's got a guidance liner.
No one knows what that means.
That's a fake thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fake
because I'm like reaching in here and feeling inside. I don't feel any guidance sock
Isn't it
liner.
just they're just talking about the gusset?
No, I don't even think they're talking about that. It's a guidance sock liner. Or maybe is it possible they're talking about the insole?
Oh, there's a little thing in there right there. Look at that thing in the insole.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they're,
That's what
talking,
they're
about.
talking about.
Insole designed and engineered with expertise from Kaiser Sport Orthopedic.
Dude, Ralphie's hair really gets into everything. Holy cow.
Dude,
I guess
it's
if you were
everywhere.
wearing socks and then put them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what they meant. We got it wrong on the review because we
okay.
brought it up in the video review. We're like, I have no idea what the guidance sock liner is.
Oh.
But it's just a little nubbin on your
In the
insole.
arch of, I guess in the middle of your foot, really.
It's like in between the fat pad. Yeah, it's right in that gaping area. So I guess if you have a flat foot, you're gonna feel that.
I have a flat foot.
Did you feel it?
No issue.
Princess and the Pea over here.
No.
But yeah, I like it. It's a good shoe, especially if I wanted something with a little guidance for a daily trainer. Weight isn't too bad. I think for my size, 10.5, it was 8.5 ounces or right around 280 grams.
That's pretty good.
I think that was like,
That's like really light.
That's 8.5 ounces.
was it 8.5 or was it 10?
That sounds like mine.
Maybe yours was 8.
Yeah.
What was mine?
I don't know.
10 would make more sense.
Yeah, I think it was 10.5 and 300
Yeah.
grams.
That's it.
Yeah, 10.5 ounces, 300 grams. But for a stability shoe, I feel like that's right in that kind of like space.
Yeah. I was wearing some like interesting shoes. I wore the Reebok Float Ride Energy 5 because I needed to get some more miles on that. And then the Diadora Atomo. I really like that shoe, the V7000.
Yeah.
Like I wore it yesterday and I'm like,
You wear it for running or did you wear it for just walking around New York?
both.
Okay.
I ran 7 miles in it yesterday. I think it's a really good shoe.
Yeah. Lots of cushioning.
And then I wore that Noble carbon plated or something plated shoe.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad. The upper's not good.
I like not that bad as a qualification for a shoe. That's
Well,
usually when I
you
go
would-
shopping, I want the sales guy to be like, you should try this shoe. It's not that bad.
Thomas just rolled his eyes when I said Noble for anyone that's listening.
Yeah, I'm trying to hide it under my hat.
And you would think exactly that it's like there's no way they're making a good running
Calling
shoe.
me out.
But it's not a bad running shoe.
All right.
Like it's not. You would think that somebody like that. I run in worse running shoes from running shoe companies.
I can think of a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time. Well, so the Propel video went up this, and review should be up. But definitely by the time this comes out, you can check out that. That's our budget shoe at 110 that did pretty well that we reviewed on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I took the opportunity to go back this week, Robbie, and run in the Vaporfly Flyknit, the first one, the 4%. So it was like the second version of the Vaporfly that ever came out with the knit top. And I got to say, that thing still felt really good.
All right.
I
Better
still
than
like that.
the newest one.
No, the newest one feels great. I actually think the new one, but I do like if I had a fresh pair of the Flyknit or the OG versus the Next Percent 2, I'd probably go with that. And I also like the first original Next Percent. I thought that was a good one.
Oh, by the way, there seems to be a lot of confusion about whether they're just calling it the Vaporfly 3 or the Next Percent 3, Vaporfly Next Percent 3. And Nike's not doing a great job of handling that because on their website it's literally listed as both names. Do you know what the deal is?
I mean, why would you get rid of the Next Percent? That's a claim they're saying. It's like, hey,
It is a dumb name.
Next percent? No, I love it because think about it. Originally, it was the 4%, and then they're like, we can't, like, you would want it to just keep going up, and
Just
so
always the next
next
percent.
percent. Yeah,
I think that's why I don't like it. There's just no.
it doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah, there's no actual meaning.
Yeah.
But then again, what does elite mean when I'm wearing it?
I'm a little conflicted with Nike right now. You know, they kind of borrowed our name. Their attorneys are looking into it and how this could have been an oversight. And then on top of that, we are interviewing Kara Goucher today. That'll probably come out.
Wait, that's on this week's podcast or like in a
No,
couple
that'll
weeks?
be in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Casey Comer will be this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under Armour athlete.
Okay.
But yeah, so like she does not paint a pretty picture of Nike.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of one of the reasons.
You don't say.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm hoping that we can get that straightened out.
All right. I mean, does it? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how much.
We probably shouldn't say much.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. What do you think, Meg?
Yeah, I think that's it for this week.
All right. Hopefully, we'll see you in Boston. Whether you're running the Boston Marathon or not, we'd love to see you pop by. Maybe you won't want the carb box, but you should want to just.
Oh, yeah. And one more thing about Boston. So our Fuel for the Soul podcast, which will come out next Tuesday, the 11th, is going to be all about fueling for Boston. And then we're going to do a live on Wednesday, the 12th, to answer all of your questions that we didn't answer on the podcast. So you can tune in. We'll promote it all, but.
Oh, you should tell people to read your article.
And there's an article on believeitherun.com with our tips for like logistics, how to get to the start line.
You, Featherston, Ben Johnson,
Yeah.
giving your Boston tips.
Some insider stuff that we figured out the hard way. So yeah, go check that out.
Cool.
Robbie and I will be able to give you some tips next year.
Yeah. About how to wait around for 7 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's about it. So I guess we're going to wrap it up now.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks to our producer, Brandon, for putting this together this week. And we're glad to have Robbie back from his trip to New York and getting back to business.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Hi, Mom.